Imagine walking into class and realizing your entire future depends on how well you can memorize, not how well you can think. That's the world of the Three Idiots. Released in 2009 and now a global favorite, the movie is about three engineering students, Ranjo, Farhan, and Raju, who are trying to survive college while dealing with family pressure, grades, and their own dreams. So, in our clip, the definition of the machine scene,
what is a machine?
we see the first clash between those two worlds. The textbook perfect answer that gets praised.
Sir, machines are any combination of bodies so connected that their relative motions are constrained, and by which means force and motion may be transmitted and modified as a screw in its nut, or a lever arranged to turn about a fulcrum, or a pulley about its pivot, etc. Especially a construction more or less complex consisting of a combination of moving parts or simple mechanical elements as wheels, levers, cams, etc.
God.
And Ranjo's simple, real-world explanations that get punished.
Sir, a machine is anything that reduces human effort, sir.
Will you please elaborate?
In the next few minutes, we'll unpack this moment through an organizational behavior lens and see what it reveals about learning orientations, influence tactics, and conflict styles.
Learning orientation is about wanting to grow and understand things, even if that means making mistakes along the ways. Performance orientations is the opposite. It's more about looking competent and avoiding things that may make you seem unskilled. Influence tactics are basically how we convince others. Hard tactics rely on pressures, like demanding people to do something right way. They might work fast, but it's not working for the long term. Soft tactics use reasoning, like explaining why something needs to be done. This usually creates more cooperations because people understand the why behind. And for conflict style, a competing style is when someone pushes their own idea without much considerations for others. It's quick, but it can create tensions. A collaborating style, on the other hand, take more effort. It's more like, let's find a solution together. It builds up a better relationship and more lasting outcome.
So first, when the professor asks for a definition of a machine, Chatur gives the textbook perfect answer, which is memorized. His tone is formal and his posture is stiff, and his only goal is to repeat the exact same definition. This shows performance orientation where the focus is on looking correct and impressing the authority rather than actually understanding the idea. Rancho, on the other hand, gives a simple definition by saying anything that reduces human efforts. He uses everyday examples like a fan and a pulley. So his behavior shows learning orientation where the focus is on learning and applying knowledge and not just performing for grades. The scene also shows two different influence tactics and conflict styles. The professor uses his authority to shut down Rancho's answer. He insists that the textbook definition is the only acceptable one, which reflects a competing conflict style. He is assertive, controlling, and dominating. Rancho, on the other hand, instead of arguing, he politely asks the professor to consider other way of looking at the concept. So he is using more of a collaborative conflict style where the goal is understanding and not winning.
The major challenge highlighted in the clip is the power imbalance and the transactional leadership style of the professor. Students are rewarded for memorizing the textbook and shut down if any creativity is shown, creating a space with no psychological safety. Students are afraid to speak up or challenge ideas. Because of the environment, most students lean on rote memorization and are driven by their extrinsic motivations such as grades, praise, or wanting to look smart. Although they know the book word for word, there isn't much real understanding behind the concepts. Another challenge is a lack of leader-member exchange. A healthy dynamic involves trust, openness, and two-way communication. But here, the interactions are extremely formal and communication is one-directional. Students are simply recipients of information provided by the professor and have no real connection to the content, and there is a lack of individualized support provided for them.
Utilizing a transformational style of leadership instead of a transactional one shifts away from using a carrot and stick approach and leans towards one that encourages creativity, problem solving, and application. Rather than simply contingent reward, the professor needs to inspire motivation in the students, which requires intrinsic drivers built through conceptual thinking, psychological empowerment, and the feeling that effort leads to meaningful performance. By moving from a role-taking process to a role-making one, wherein the students' expectations are incorporated, mutual trust is established. From the one-directional lecturing, turns into a two-directional conversation wherein students are asked to elaborate on comments and reasonings, invited to ask questions, and are provided with developmental feedback rather than just punishment. With a transformational leadership style, and as LMX quality increases, mutual trust and respect will grow, and that will boost the students' self-efficacy and the expectancy that effort will pay off, which translates to better engagement and performance and a healthy, psychologically safe environment wherein students are just intrinsically motivated to learn.